Okay, these are some 100 yen shop souvenir ideas, and the first one is toothpaste stands, and they're just little short tubes into which you insert your toothbrush, and they don't have a bottom. That's just the label on the bottom there, so that if you take the label off, it's hollow like that, and you stand your toothbrush in it. I'm going to put that back afterwards because I'm doing it in one hand. I can stand it. And it means that you're not sharing your toothbrush holder with anyone else, and it doesn't fill up with water, so it's more hygienic. Trust the Japanese. That's the first suggestion for souvenir from 100 yen. Next up is a packet of masks. I'm not sure if you want them, but these are 30 masks for 100 yen. That's less than 3 yen, well, no, about 3 yen a mask. And there's various types, and also ones which fit into your nose. These ones are called nose pom, and they're menthol flavoured, and if you had a cold you could wear this. Predominantly Japanese people wear masks when they've got a cold, and they want to protect other people from getting their cold, so they come to work with a mask on, which means that even if they sneeze or breathe, they're not breathing their germs onto anyone else, and they're cheaply available in their 100 yen shop. The Japanese are really big on little bags of tissues, again in case they've got a cold, and these ones are Hello Kitty, who is perhaps the first and foremost ambassador for the Japanese people. So you can get 3 packets of Hello Kitty tissues for 100 yen in a Japanese 100 yen store as a souvenir. If the plain ceramic brush holders are insufficient, you can also get Hello Kitty brush holders to hold your toothpaste. They work in the same way as the ones I just introduced. These are only seen, I think, in Japan, as far as I know anyway. A very famous Japanese character, Tora-san, from the series of movies It's Tough for Men, used to wear one of these things to keep his abdomen warm, I believe. It's not a kind of corset. It's not for keeping your stomach in. It's just a belly warmer, and they're 200 yen a shot. I don't suppose if you gave them to someone they would actually use them, but they're a novelty that you can probably only get in Japan. Incidentally, Daiso 100 yen shops don't mind their clientele taking photographs and posting them to the internet, because it acts as a form of commercial for the store. So it's quite okay by them for me to be doing this and introducing their products. Japanese are extra keen not to smell, and this is a form of air freshener in the shape of a Pikachu pocket monster. So if you hang this up in your room or your closet, it will release smells that cover other smells, and also it also works as a insect repellent. So there's a Pikachu insect repellent and odor. Well, it says it gets rid of odors, but I guess it can only do that by releasing one. I'm not sure that these exist in other countries, but I recommend them, and they're while more than 100 yen, they're cheaply priced at 400 yen. They're just inverted U-shaped bars for doing press-ups upon, and if you practice with them as I have, it means that they're more difficult than doing ordinary press-ups, so that afterwards when you do ordinary press-ups it becomes a lot easier once you practice on these bars. I can now do 50 press-ups having practiced on these things. 30 on these is like 50 on the ground. Recommended. These are hand towels in thin cloth, some of them with Japanese style prints on them, like that one there with the names of different fish, or also traditional Japanese patterns. And these can be used as towels or to wrap things in, like, I don't know, wrap up a flower pot or something. Just in all sorts of situations the Japanese are well into wrapping. And these are 100 yen a piece. The Japanese are of course big on chopsticks, and 100 yen shops sell a variety. This particular shop doesn't seem to have many that are in a kind of Japanesey design, but nonetheless they're probably better than you can get for the equivalent amount of money in other countries, and they come with, in some instances, chopstick cases, all in for the same price. This knick-knack is rather good. It's a cup that fits onto the top of a fruit juice bottle. So you buy a cola or something that comes in a PET plastic bottle, and these cups will grip the top of the cap of your fruit juice or soda, and will sort of pop off so that you can drink rather than directly from the bottle, but from a little delicate looking cup instead. More Hello Kitty paraphernalia. These are Hello Kitty buttons and other character-themed buttons for your clothes, or just to sew onto your bag or something, to sort of demonstrate your interest in the cute and animate. And they are 100 yen for 3 buttons. These are food-smelling and food-appearing pencil erasers, I believe. Yes, pencil erasers. And so they even look like the food, but they can rub out your pencil marks at the same time as smelling and looking like food. That's something that perhaps only exists in Japan. I mean, even if you had the food-smelling eraser, it wouldn't look like a biscuit. My friend was about to purchase one as a snack. It's that realistic. The Japanese are keen on pattern masking tapes for sealing envelopes and sealing presents, and amongst these masking tapes, tapes like sellotape except with patterns on them, there is a Japan-themed one there with a round Buddha, people in kimono, samurai warriors, that sort of thing, for sort of a Japan-looking sealant, should you need one. These are calligraphy-related items, such as a pair of calligraphy brushes, or a thicker calligraphy brush, some tubes for inserting paper and prizes. Well, they generally come as a sort of printed prize. A calligraphy ink, a calligraphy paper, and a sort of place for putting your calligraphy ink as you do your calligraphy. And also other tools that you use when doing calligraphy. I really need to ask my son, because I don't do calligraphy myself. But you could buy one set for about 500 yen to enable people to practice calligraphy all over the world. Here's another thing that I've only seen in Japan, which is a baseball designed to make it easy to write on. So it's a baseball for signing, so that when you meet your favourite baseball player, you can whip out this sign ball for his signature, and he'll be able to sign it easily. I'm not clear how common paper milk cartons are now in other places in the world, but in Japan we still use the standard paper milk carton that opens at the top, and these are Hello Kitty and other character themed staples or clips for sealing the milk carton more firmly so that it lasts longer and remains fresher, with a cute character to boot. Japanese are good at fake things and miniaturized fake things, and these are fake miniaturized fruit for hanging and decorating, or fake miniaturized vegetables, carrots and corn for hanging in your kitchen to make it look more delicious and decorative. They are made of plastic or cloth. I said earlier that there weren't too many Japanese styled chopsticks, but in fact they're just in a different part of the store, and they've even got the sushi restaurant style of chopsticks with all the fish names in Sino-Japanese characters, and a whole variety of very Japanese-looking, inexpensive chopsticks for 100 yen, some of which have the chopstick blocks included in the price. Some of them are like you can buy 4 pairs of chopsticks for only 100 yen, complete with the Japanese names chopsticks, which is ohashi written in English characters. These are Japanese style cooking chopsticks for using in the pan and for, I don't know, tasting the food that you're preparing. And on one end they've got chopsticks, on the other they've got these little spoon things so that you can taste your dish during preparation to see whether it needs more seasoning or whatever. More traditionally, they were just long chopsticks such as these in a pack of 2 pairs for 100 yen. There are, of course, many Japanese-style items of cutlery, such as these little containers for tea, Japanese-style trays, Japanese-style mini teapots for making green tea, Japanese-style soup bowls and various bowls. These bowls are good because, being made of plastic or lacquerware, traditionally, they don't make your food cold even if you haven't heated them before you put your soup into them. And then there are osake bottles, would you say, that you might put heated sake even into these, or mugs, again with the names of fish in Sino-Japanese characters, for drinking tea out of. And these little tea, here's one with ukiyo-e, floating world pictures on them, printed onto them. So various Japanese style mugs and or Japanese style plates with compartments in them, some of which you might use for soy sauce when eating sashimi or sushi. And there's a wide variety of Japanese styled or Japanese patterned plates and other items of cutlery, all for 100 yen. Japanese are into seals and stamps in general, so there are a variety here, such as a cat stamp, flower stamp, perfume bottle stamp, pear, I don't know why I had a pear, and a hedgehog stamp even, and others with Japanese writing on them, such as express post stamp, or this envelope contains a price estimate stamp, or a date stamp, a rotating date stamp, and stamp pads in various colours, and more character and symbol theme stamps, stamping pieces of paper and making it look cuter, such as these character theme stamps. And also in the same section there is an abacus. I don't know how to use an abacus, but for your friends that do or want to learn, they're only 200 yen, which is slightly less than the cost of a large desktop digital calculator, which will also come in 100 yen, but you can probably get those in most countries of the world. Here again there are a variety of food, character, and more food and vegetable themed pencil erasers for those children that aren't satisfied with a normal white block of an eraser. You can get one in shape and perhaps even scented with in a food shape. Designed with a tourist in mind, there are some kimono-clad dolls called kokeshi in the shape of a ruler, in the shape of a kimono-clad woman, or fake sushi, fake Japanese sword, which is a kitchen fridge magnet, and pens in cherry blossom, Buddha, round Buddha Dharma headed pens, and also a ninja with a throwing sword at the top of the pen there, probably designed as souvenirs. But this is the only area of the shop that seems to be specifically targeted at tourists, and it's very much out of the way on the bottom shelf. But they would do. For your friends who want to do calligraphy but don't want to go to the bother of pouring out ink and using a brush, there are brush pens, and these pens here, within the normal structure of a capped refill type, well, I don't think you can refill them, but an ordinary marker pen type case, beneath the cap is a brush so that you can do calligraphy with these pens here, brush pens. These are typically Japanese fake food keychains. Yes, so there's, for instance, ice cream, or these are things that are in the famous Japanese winter stew called oden, and that's giant white radish, a deep-fried tofu bag containing mochi. There's a rolled cabbage, that's a fish sausage, that's a egg, that's a piece of konnyaku is the Japanese name for it, sort of jellied, sort of kind of a hard jelly, and various other foods, and confectionery and sushi. They're all key ring fobs, you call them, things to make your keys more visible and personalised. They even have curry and prawn and rice keyring fobs. In the toy section there are various Japanese toys and games. There are some spinning tops, a Japanese kimono-clad woman doll, again kokeshi, things that you throw up in the air and then catch balls on the end of sticks, called kendama, and the Japanese version of chess, and well, a sort of a flying piece of bamboo, and I don't know what the yajirobe is, but it's some kind of traditional bamboo Japanese toy. In the food section there are of course many items which can typical of Japan and can probably only be bought in Japan, such as green tea bags here and here, or kinako, which is powdered soya beans, which are useful for flavouring anything from vegetables to rice cakes, and also perhaps my favourite souvenir from 100 yen shops, which are these powdered soybean sticks, and they're a sort of traditional Japanese confectionery, traditional Japanese bag, and they're rather nice. Once you get over the rather chalky feel of the powdered soybean, they taste kind of nutty. In fact, they're beans, so they've got less fat in them. They're almost a healthy confection, made as they are mainly of soybean, and of course some sweetening. And at the register they've got more Japanese confectionery. These are sweet rice crackers, cherry rice crackers, and also some rather strange salty caramel bars, only in Japan.